Wanted to go over our trades for August 22nd. Started it out with PRAN, PRAN. Let me show you the daily. The daily had a nice resistance level at this 473 level, and I was looking for this resistance to break, and this is exactly the move I was anticipating. We had, let's move to our 2-minute chart, our entry chart. We had a nice resistance level at the breakout point, and we finally broke through it. Nice little intraday break here. And so I entered at the break on the daily, which was 74 was my breakout price. So I got in at 75, and I pulled an intraday extension, and I decided to, keep it conservative and stick to my extensions for this trade because I didn't want to risk, losing all my gains hoping that it's going to go higher. You want to stick to what's in front of you, and I had an 86 and a 96 extension, 2 extension levels. So I took some off at the first, took the rest off at the second. Like I said, didn't want to risk too much on this, so I wanted to take my profit on the way up. It can go higher. I did have the next level at 506, which is confluent with my daily extension that I had pulled at 506. And let me pull that up real quick to show you. You can see that my daily extension is pretty much near that area as well. Let me make sure I pulled that right. Yeah. So this is showing 514. So it could very well get to that 100% extension on the daily and the 100% or 138 extension on the intraday chart, but I went ahead and kept it conservative. So the next trade was NPSP. And NPSP, I was really quick to take profit on this, which had ended up being the right decision. So basically, let's take a look at the daily. On the daily, I had a resistance level around 25, actually. And, well, it was about 24.80s, but you'll see the intraday in a second. 25 was the kicker for me. So basically, I had a few daily extensions pulled here. But, honestly, the volume on this wasn't impressing me, so I didn't want to be I didn't want to have too high of expectations on this trade. So let's go to the intraday, the entry chart. I had a really nice run, pullback, and then recovery. And when I saw this recover, because it looked like it was going to fail out around this area, and I was like, it's probably not going to make it. But I'll keep it on radar, so I did. And what happened was it put in this 25 resistance level at 25. So as soon as it popped through, I was watching it as it was popping through, but I just could not get my fill where I wanted it. I wanted my fill right down here, and it was just almost impossible for me to do it. I wasn't quick enough, and I ended up having to chase it a little bit, which I wasn't happy about because I would have much preferred my fill down to be more precise with my pivot to pivot move, but that's all right. I wanted in. I didn't want to miss out on this trade just because of a few cents. So I got in, and I went ahead and had a few extensions pulled, and as you can see, I took profit right at the 100% extension, and it went a little bit past it, but I pulled my stop intra-bar so that I could take profit because I really wasn't expecting. You can see I had confluence at this 25-35 level, so that's really all I was expecting out of it. However, when I saw it pop through into that 161 extension here, I was very quick to pull my stop in intra-bar, and I said, okay, this is all I'm expecting out of this thing. I'm going to get out. And as you can see, it gave back all of its gains, so that was the right decision. That's why it's so important to pay attention to extensions. And then Chris took MGM. I wanted to take this, but I missed it, and I don't know, there was something about the intraday pattern that just kind of had me not very confident about it, but this one was a breakout. Here's the daily right here, and this one was a breakout of this 1770 level. And you can see we got an entry on a pullback. Okay, so Chris decided that this was looking pretty strong here, and I totally agree with what he did. I think this was looking strong in this pullback area. You can see the bar he entered on popped up, and obviously, if I was in his situation, I would have thought the same thing, that this thing's strong on the pullback, it's getting bought up. Let's get in and see if we can get a move higher. What threw me off on this one is here's the intraday break. Okay, now this isn't at the breakout point yet. The breakout point on the daily was up here at 60, I think it was 67. So like in this area. So we had a big pop and then another pop, and this action to me is just so parabolic, and it just kind of makes me think that the move is going to be short burst move, and then it's going to be done. So I kind of let this one slip off the radar. It is a valid setup, it is a valid entry, but I wouldn't call this an A entry. uh, but what it's doing right now is it's just consolidating. And I mean, I feel like it's going to pop here soon, but it just keeps, I mean, every time we thought it was going to pop, we thought it was consolidating for a pop, and it just never went. So, I don't really know what this is going to do, but now we're into lunchtime, and I would be tempted to enter if it popped up, but if you pull the extension, I I don't like that deep pullback here, and the extension 1778. It might get up to 1778, and that's about it. So I don't know if I trust this enough to get back into it. Uh, I'm also pulling 1790s. I suppose if it pops out of this consolidation with strength after lunch, I would consider it for an afternoon move. But as of right now, it's really not a big player for me.